New York was initially a Dutch colony. James, the Duke of York, who was also King Charles II's brother, was looking for an opportunity to expand and was anxious to find that opportunity at the Dutch expense. He convinced his kingly brother to send a military force, and the mere show of it was enough to convince the Dutch to hand over the colony. The British granted generous terms of surrender. Everyone in the colony was guaranteed individual English liberties, free black slaves included. At the macro level, though, they weren't as generous. The colony was not permitted to have an elected body meet. This was largely because the people were still a Dutch majority. Regardless, the colony was near constantly suffering from a lack of revenue. Whenever the colonial government would attempt to extract more by taxation, the citizens would use that as an opportunity to pursue more representation. The colonial government wasn't willing to play that kind of ball, though. They didn't want to run the risk of a non-English majority gaining influence in the colony. Rather, they would attempt to sell monopolies and perform other arbitrary taxation to make up for revenue shortfalls. There were many natural opportunities for monopoly. New York City had a great harbor that required a lot of commerce passing through it. Merchants who lived there already had a natural way to benefit and were happy to purchase that monopoly, but it stymied their ability to maximize value as it didn't guarantee that the best tradespeople were in control. So other monopolies would be sold, such as on milling flour, but they ran into the same problem of potential incompetence literally costing money. It was an unpopular practice and led to many in New York to refuse to pay other taxes. It led to the colony needing revenue, and they allowed for an assembly to meet in 1683. Here they created a Charter of Liberties where, quote, all free men could vote, freedom from arrest, free speech, trial by jury, due process, punishment that fit the crime, and the assembly would meet at least once every 3 years and would impose all taxes, end quote. All those were guaranteed. This was a unique occurrence because most of the colonies had charters that were written by one dominant group. They were written by one dominant demographic to protect that dominant demographic. New York didn't have one dominant group, so the charter was written to protect everyone's interests.